and years to come.
So do stay with us as we move over to our next story. We turn over to the Middle East next, and Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has reportedly moved to a fortified underground bunker in Tehran. The move follows security assessments warning of a possible US attack. It comes after President Donald Trump said American warships are moving closer to Iran, warning of potential action. Reports say the bunker is heavily fortified with interconnected tunnels beneath the capital. Reports also suggest that Khamenei's son, Masoud Khamenei, is now overseeing daily affairs and acting as the main link with Iran's government. Tensions sparked after Trump spoke of a major US naval buildup, and Iran has responded with its strongest warning yet, saying any strike would be treated as an all-out attack and an act of war. Sol Sadka joins us once again. Of course, this is a reported development. It's not can't be independently verified, but suggesting that the Ayatollah is moving into a bunker in Tehran. Does this indicate successful deterrence and a sign that the Iranian regime is weak enough to and will topple soon?
One could only hope so. There are two ways that the Iranian regime goes down at this point. It can either go down in a fast, kinetic way, with help perhaps from the United States. There are rumors of other Western nations, such as the UK, who also might be willing to involve themselves in a strike. What we have seen, with perhaps 45,000 people dead over a few weeks under an internet blackout that the Iranian regime imposed, it's something they learned from the Arab Spring. They realized that the internet was a great threat to their ideology, which really can't function under the light of the internet. And so they knew that when the protesters would come, they would have to turn off the internet. And they prepared for this for decades. And the primary way that a regime like this can stay in power is by simply slaughtering their own citizens to the extent that the rest of them will be too frightened to continue. But the blowback for this will be vast. And as Khamenei goes down into his bunker, if this is true, he is very wise to go down to his bunker, although that certainly will not help him. I assure you, the Americans know exactly where he is. We know this because the IRGC have proven to be completely infiltrated with spies on every level. There are rumors that up to 20% of all members of the IRGC are somehow in contact with foreign intelligence. So for them, it is hopeless. The only question is, does it go down in an increasingly bloody way, perhaps followed by civilian strife and inter-ethnic strife, because after all, Iranians are majority non-Persian. They're majority minority as a nation. Or does it go down with a kind of peaceful revolution, relatively, as was seen 47 years ago, even though the results of that relatively peaceful revolution were anything if not.
And so Iran says any strike will be treated as an all-out war. Do you think Israel and the United States think Iran is bluffing, and does it have the capabilities to launch something as so?
Oh, I'm sure they're not bluffing. But the problem for Iran is they're faced with a dilemma. That if they attack back at Israel, say America attacks them, and they aim their weapons again at Israel. Last time, if you recall, they fired about 600 vast bus-sized missiles at Israel, and about 10% of them got through the air defenses. And between those 600 missiles, they managed to kill 30 Israeli civilians, not a single member of the military. Now, of course, that has no effect strategically on Israel. It just causes some insurance damage and some tragic funerals. But strategically, that has no effect. So if they do that, then not only will they be facing the might of the American battle groups and Air Force arrayed against them in the region, they will also be facing the Israeli military, which has proven themselves extremely effective. So if they do decide to attack Israel in that way, they will face a vast retaliation, and that will be the end of them. So really, if they decide to attack either America or Israel in retaliation for whatever America may or may not do, that is the beginning of the end of their regime and the beginning of the end of all the lives of the people that make those decisions, which is why in the past, when they have threatened this kind of bellicose retaliation, they have always done so in a truly symbolic and pathetic way. For example, when they attacked Qatar after the Americans blew up with Midnight Hammer their entire nuclear program they'd worked on for 40 years. They responded with a couple of missiles aimed at the sand around a American base in Qatar, and they gave America a warning of exactly what time and with what they would be attacking, so the Americans were able to evacuate. So allowing them to save face and thereby ending the war. So whatever they're saying, they are not capable of it. They are capable of only lashing out in a way that will guarantee their own demise.
Saul Sadka, thank you very much for joining us and taking the time. We now move on and over to South Asia, and the European Commission